Hi Scrubs, hope you're well. This video is requested by Gal Guštin and I'm going to be talking about how to win horses in auctions. So, unlike the likes of direct sales or reserved sales where you've got horses that don't have a time limit, auction sales have a time limit. So the horse goes up for sale and then there's a certain amount of time that you have to place a bid. So obviously whoever wins the horse is going to have the highest bid at the end of the auction. So how are you going to try and up your chances really of winning that horse? There's no guaranteed way because somebody can always come in at the last second and overbid you. So in terms of buying horses, I'm just going to refresh the page because I'm pretty sure a lot of these have ended now. You see with bidding on horses, it automatically increments it by 100 equus. So my actual suggestion to most people would actually be to not do that. Because when you increment it by 100, you can guarantee that a lot of people are going to do the exact same. So it's better to go in and put some kind of obscure number. So maybe increment it by 123, or you could go in and increment it by 1 as well. That also might work. It's not always going to work, but it's worth a shot. I don't know if we're... Right, there's 13 seconds left on that. So we only incremented that by 1 equus, so we might get it. We may not. There's 5 seconds to go. I always say that you're probably best bidding in the last couple of seconds on horses. If you can just hit it on the very last second, then you have a decent chance of doing it. I would say watch if there's a horse you really want, you have to be there and you have to be watching. This is why I don't really bother with auctions that much because, if there's something you really want, there's probably a chance that somebody else is really going to want it. There's some horses that you'll be able to pick up really easily in the auctions for very little. Something like this, for example, this is a horse with a golden apple. Now, this horse has 2 days left on it. You can see that it has 1 bid, and it only has 1,000 bid on it, okay? I can guarantee that that horse will start to jump up. The closer it gets to the end of that auction, the more rapidly the price will go up. And it will jump up in larger amounts. Whenever you've got horses that aren't necessarily maybe got BM items on them or maybe not worth a lot, then people are going to make smaller bids. So I think the 2 things that you really have to be acutely aware of is what is the value of the horse really, because you need to know how high you're willing to go and sort of guess how high other people are going to go, because if you're bidding on really cheap horses, and a lot of people will do this, is they'll buy really cheap horses in the direct sales, and then what they'll do is they will bounce them into the directs at a little bit more for the people who can't be bothered to go into the auctions and trawl through loads and loads of horses. And people will buy them there for a bit more, because it saves them having to go into the auctions and bid on them. So be very aware of what that value of that horse might be in the direct sales, because it maybe will give you an idea, especially for those people who do a lot of auction bidding for the purposes of selling them off in directs. Figure out even where they're going to stop, where they're going to say, I don't want that horse anymore. And you can figure out, well, am I willing to go that high, or am I willing to go higher or not? There will be occasions where you might end up just finding yourself bidding on a horse that you don't really want just because you want to win. I've seen people do that. Not often, but occasionally. But really, have a look at the auctions. And even if there's a couple of horses in there that you're sort of interested in, just do a little bit of practicing, seeing, really what is the best second for you to place a bid. Because obviously if we just go on to a horse, I'm not sure of this one is 30 seconds. Do count down, when you go onto the horse, maybe count to 10 and then refresh the page, so we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then refresh. We know it's going to be around 10 seconds roughly left on that. And you might want to refresh again and then get ready to throw in a last minute bid. But I do think putting obscure numbers helps, because a lot of people aren't going to do that, or making increments of 1 if you just want to get it as cheaply as possible. But obviously if you do that a lot, people are going to know that and they're going to kind of work that out, and they might bid a little bit more, they might bid by 3 or something like that. And obviously don't be trying to bid at the very last second, because you got to be aware that when you go in to look at the horse sales and then you go in here, time's always ticking down, and it makes it very difficult because you can't actually see. I think that's the reason they don't do it, because I think if they had it actually, physically counting down there, you might get and find it quite difficult. But obviously here we've got a time on it, which is helpful as well. So this does help. So do pay attention to that as well. So it's telling us this is going to end on the 24th of April 2017 at 5:44:04. So maybe you want to have on your phone, maybe open what time it is, or even on your computer and have it in digital so that you can see it counting down, because then that's going to help you time, right, when's the best bit to bid. That is another thing that you can do as well. So those are a couple of ways to try and get the last bid in and try and win the horse. As I said, practice with this helps. So if you're looking to try and do a lot of auction bidding, do use that, okay? Use the information that's there. Be aware of maybe what sort of range the horses are going to work out at, so you have an idea of what your competition is going to bid on it. Sometimes people will just randomly bid really high amounts on horses that aren't worth that whenever they go to direct sales, but that's just maybe because they really want the horse, for whatever their reasons are. So those are a couple of tips on winning horses in auctions. So thank you to Gal Guštin for pressing the video. I hope you had a lovely day, scrubs. Bye!